I'm Ali,
I'm Deb.
and we're the host of Connected Conversations, the podcast to help you find more ease, flow, and harmony in your life. Hi, good morning. Welcome back to Connected Conversations. I'm Ali, hosting, and I got Deb here with me, and we are so excited to talk about aligning our intentions with some goals or rituals that we create throughout the year. This makes me really excited because I have been holding off personally on making goals on and reestablishing what I call rituals. Maybe you call habits or routines. It's just a new word that I'm choosing, and I'm sure Deb and I can go off on a conversation on that in another day. However, today it's all about intentions, that clarity that we have, and how do we align them to what is important to each of us. So we each have chosen a word and we'll share it. And we're going to speak today about how do we start integrating that into our lives, our rituals, and our goals. So my word that I've chosen this year is liberty. Today, it's all about a liberty of time, my freedom, how I'm able to move and flow and flexibility, liberty in money so that I can afford the things that I want to do with my career, nonprofits, whatever I want to buy, where I want to live, how I want to travel, liberty in expressing myself, feeling that I have my voice and I can use it in a way that I think is powerful and meaningful for the world. So that is a little bit of what I've done. So it's taking that one word and looking at various different aspects of our life and being able to say, like, okay, what does liberty mean for travel? What does liberty for me mean for my mornings and the flexibility that it gains me? So that's where I'm headed this year and what's been close to my heart. Deb, how about you?
Yeah, my word for the year is truth. And just getting really honest about where I am, where I want to go. And like you, what does that life look like? If I want the life of my dreams, like am I aligning my daily habits to reflect that? So truth around my connection with spirit. Am I really taking that time to meditate every day? Or my truth with my body? Am I taking that time to move every day? Because am I loving the body that the way that my body wants it to? So even in business, I getting really honest with myself about where I am and where I want to go? And am I taking aligned action to start bringing some of those dreams to fruition? So I want to write a children's series. That's on the list of things that I want to do. Um, but if you're not taking action, if I'm not actually writing, if I'm not actually doing some of those things that are supporting that dream, well, then it's not going to happen. So, yes, you can do all the vision boards, like we talked about last week, is really, you can have all those big dreams, but if you're not taking aligned action to it, then it's never going to happen. So it's taking the first steps, it's being consistent. And for me, it's just getting really honest about, am I doing the things that I need to do to support my dreams and goals? And I know I love your word liberty though. And you were saying something before we jumped on camera today about how you're using that word in, like, you haven't been feeling great the last. So how have you been incorporating that word as maybe your healing, or how do you incorporate liberty in that?
I think right now, as I transitioned out of corporate into solopreneurship and working in different partnerships like Connected Conversations, I felt that I was very much stuck in a corporate lifestyle of 9 to 5. Like that program, that paradigm runs thick of if I'm not working XYZ hours when I should, when I'm shooting on myself, therefore I'm not successful. Therefore, I'm not going to be productive, or those are my stories. So when I look at liberty, it's the liberty of time. I used to be very rigorous of waking up 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, having to do certain things. And it worked for a certain amount of time until I realized that like my body ebbs and flows with cycles, with the time of year. Like in the summer, like getting up early is a lot easier than right now when it's winter and the sun's not up sometimes like till 8, or do you have days of dreary? Like the energy levels are just different. So I want that liberty to allow myself the time to honor if I'm not feeling well. So the last few days I just have felt off, and I know the liberty of what I have right now is that I've created a schedule in which I can be flexible. And then with that flexibility, that's allowing me the liberty to create a morning ritual that's going to work right now for me. So it's getting back into grounding in my journaling. So maybe it's releasing feelings and forgiveness. And that's really what I've been feeling right now. Is like I want that liberty to let go of these emotions that are, I feel, kind of like stuck right now. In the liberty of like, I want to be able just to move my body. So it's not that I've signed up for X amount of classes that I have to do and feel very stuck. It's like, I'm gonna lay it out on the mat, put on a few of my favorite songs and stretch it out, breathe it out. So when I'm looking at liberty, it's redefining my lifestyle from things that I thought were supporting me like a year ago, 2 years ago, and they were up into a point. And now it's like, how do I want to redefine my lifestyle of liberty? So in that instant of I haven't been like really on for my health, it's like how can I support myself, and what liberty have I created in my life that I'm not nailed to a schedule of like, okay, I have to be online at 9, I have X amount of meetings, and I definitely have meetings and commitments and things like that. It's just allowing my life to flow a little differently. And that's what I support people to do all the time. It's like being okay with like letting things go and flowing with things differently. And to me, that's liberty. That's I would say, a liberty of time in that freedom that I'm allowing myself. And it is helpful because I feel in the morning, I'm not as stressed. I don't feel that like, okay, I'm not feeling well. In addition, my cortisol is already building because I'm stressed out, and it's okay. Like it's giving myself grace.
I love it. I love that. I had the same thing yesterday. I had to take my son to emerge. It wasn't necessarily something that was on my to-do list. I actually had a lot of other things on my to-do list, but I think same thing, like give yourself some grace as well as you try and form new habits or form new rituals to support yourself. So I didn't get everything done, but I was able to spend 3 hours with my son yesterday, and he's a teenager. So that's often unheard of around here. He's in and out, he's super social. So that to me was just having the conversation in the car and laughing. And you know, I normally, like you, I should be doing this. I should be, should. And so I came back and did a little bit of work after, but I also knew that today was a new day and I get to start over, and it's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't mean that if you don't do it today, you've missed out on all your hopes and dreams. Just get back into the saddle and start fresh. So I start fresh with new energy too. I find sometimes when you have to pivot during the day, it's like you know that you want to get all these things accomplished, but maybe that energy behind it isn't supporting that goal either. So I know that, you know, every time you go to sleep, you are starting with some new energy in the morning. And so sometimes I might take, like you, a step back and just allow that space and start fresh today. So today is a new day. We get to start new.
Totally. And I think like sometimes my creative juice is just zapped a little bit. And when I've been able to like listen to what is next, like it's really cool what can come out. So with an intention, like you can pick whatever words you want. And it's like kind of fun. And liberty, I would think, is like my higher arching. And then there's like values that get aligned. And I think like if it's family, that's a priority, you're actually living your value, and you're working towards that, because I'm sure on your to-do list you still got a lot done. And maybe it's like switching the perspective of like, instead of, oh, I didn't get this done, it's like, oh, you know what, I got all these other things completed, so that you can move forward to the next day with some great energy and align those values. Like if family is a really top priority, you've actually lived out maybe more in alignment than you think. And I guess for myself, like in the morning or just being able to ground, like I've had a lot of problems the last like 3 months, like feeling grounded, feeling connected to what I'm doing and just recommitting. So having the liberty to do things and feeling grounded in this calmness that I'm presenting, like that feels more in alignment right now than the hustle, bustle, and busy. So it's really looking within, like, okay, like what do I need right now? And what does this look like for me? Because you can go on Instagram, you can go on TikTok, you can listen to this, and you can get all the advice and all this, oh, has worked for me and whatever. It has to work from within. It's like asking yourself, okay, what do I need? What does this mean to me? Because I want alignment, and you're not going to search for that. So I think if you learn something from this, it's like just be curious with yourself and ask yourself, if I have this intention, what would that look like in my relationships? What would that look like at work? What would that look like for my health?
And I think you said something like, how does that feel? Because our bodies are the biggest dictators of whether you are aligned, whether it feels good, right? And oftentimes we like blow that off, oh, or like that intuitive factor, our bodies tell us whether something is good, bad, right, or wrong. And yet we often ignore it. And so I think when you talk about that feeling, how does it feel? Like, how would it feel to have your goals achieved? And I just think that that's such a great word. Like, how are you feeling? Your body will tell you. Are you listening? Are you taking the time to listen? Because it'll tell you whether you're in flow. Like you said you've been off a little. I can relate to that. I haven't been feeling fully grounded either. So your body kind of tells you when you're off, or whether when you're in the flow state, because it just feels good, and just things are that just like easily kind of happening, whether your creative juices are flowing, or whether you're just meeting the right people, or the right opportunities are coming towards you because that you're aligned energetically with that vision. So I really love that, that you said, like, how does it feel? Because I think that's so important when we talk about flow or alignment, and whether it's supporting your decisions or supporting you.
And to go on the opposite of that, like kind of celebrate when you don't feel aligned. Because I had a great conversation with a client the other day. Just like she has one job when she's so aligned, and one job where it's like ick. And it's like, great. Like, what great feedback for yourself. And like, think of it as feedback if you're doing something, because if you're doing the same thing, you're gonna have the same results. So if you're starting to do different things and you're getting different results and it still doesn't feel like, oh, this is it, like celebrate it, because when you know what you don't like, then you can get a clear shot on the other side of what you do want, and maybe what is more in alignment to keep on moving forward, and think of it as feedback. Because there are some things that I have like read and done, and it's like I am a morning person. Like when I get up in the morning, I'm ready for a conversation. Like I am ready to like enjoy the day. Like I am that kind of morning person. However, I am not a 5 a.m. get up, like get the clothes, like do all of the things and like rigorously maneuver my life morning person. So reading some stuff and it's like, this is your way, your path to success, the only way. I beg to differ. However, maybe it is. Like, so give it a shot. I don't know. So it's like, okay, your intentions. Here's my intentions. I want like healthy is a word. I want to have healthy relationships, healthy body. I want to have healthy work arrangements. Like, how does that align really? And you have to start doing something different for your goals. You have to start doing something different for the morning. And you can use yourself as this little mini science experiment, because, like you're saying, your body won't lie. And when it's really great in a line, that's a flow state, and that's so amazing, and it's exhilarating. However, when you don't know, it's like that rock in your bottom, or the headache that keeps showing up, or maybe it's that pain in your chest. Like, feel it in your body, and just know that like we are so resilient and we can move through it.
I love that. Our bodies are amazing. And I just don't think we really listen. I don't think a lot of people really tune into what that feels like. For me, for the word truth, and you know, does my body really want a bag of chips? Probably not. And so is that helping me support the truth of my body? You know, really asking yourself some of those questions, is this choice I'm making today, is it aligning with whatever your word is? So, like you say, values, or is it aligning with my value of my vision for this year? So, we're going to be talking about that next week, how, or the next steps, I guess, in order to go towards our vision, and are your steps that you're taking supporting your vision. So we will be back next Thursday with another episode of Connected Conversations. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please share with your friends and rate and recommend on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. There will be links to more great resources in the description.